All right. That being said, what's up, geeks, and welcome to Investigation Check, your our not so regular interview show where I get to deep dive with your favorite geeky creators, from game developers to cosplayers, authors to YouTubers, and learn all about them, their hobbies, passions, and uncover the untold stories of the brilliant minds behind our favorite content. I'm your host Joe, and I'm thrilled to have you join me. I am just mixing up all these words today. Join me on this quest with these creative powerhouses. So, join me on this epic quest as we roll the dice, uncover hidden truths, and embark on the unforgettable quests together. Get ready for Investigation Check. Tonight, we get to start a new round of cast member deep dives with the first one up. She plays Bloom on our newest show, Queer and Present Danger. She plays a cleric of the Holy Order of Booty in her own Twitch D&D stream, and a spooky streamer where you can usually catch her getting thrown up on hooks streaming Dead by Daylight. Tonight, we're going to deep dive into some history and some of Rima's history and hear about her journey through the geek space. How's it going, Rima?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm great. As long as we're good with audio, everyone, I think we are ready. Are you ready, Rima?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Alrighty. So, Rima, you have been a part of the New Age Geeks extended family pretty much since the inception of New Age Geeks. I want to talk about your beginnings, so you can tell us about your journey. Where did you get this creative geekiness, and where did that get started?
Okay, so it was definitely in high school. My high school didn't have an anime club. So I was fortunate enough I went to a charter school and I didn't have to be there all day every day. So I just crashed another high school's anime club, and no one really cared that, like, the whole she doesn't even go here. It didn't happen. So I kind of went to two high schools, and I had like the geeky high school, and then I had like my actual high school. And then it was at that point that I started cosplaying, and then the rest kind of evolved from that. And now I don't really cosplay as much, but the friends that I made from cosplaying, we've all stuck together pretty closely, and we do geeky things like go on D&D shows together. So some of my friends from this channel I've actually known since like college.
Well, so how did you go from like just starting out on trying to find a club to how did you even find out about another school's D&D club?
I went to a cosplay gathering, and there were a few people from that high school at that gathering, and I guess one of them like had enough audacity to just be like, you should just come to our anime club if you don't have one. And I was like, you think I could do that? They were like, yeah, it's a big school, so I don't think they would notice if like one extra person is there. So, and yeah, she was right. They didn't care at all. Even like the teacher for the anime club, I just walked in, they were like, hey, you're new, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm new.
Yep. So what started like your intro to geekiness, I guess? Like, was it like a TV show? Was it D&D, fantasy books?
Yeah, it was probably fantasy books. I know the first manga I ever read was called DramaCon, and it's just about con drama. It's like about, the bunch of like teenagers that go to an anime con together and all the crud that happens. And I just always knew I wanted to go to one after I read that manga. I was in like middle school, I think. So then I went to my first con when I was like 14.
Which one was it?
It was ALA.
Oh shit! All right.
Mm-hmm.
What's like a memorable moment from your first ALA? Like what about those cons kind of hooked you into this con scene that you're in?
I think Anime Los Angeles specifically, back when they used to be at the LAX Marriott. They've changed venues a couple of times, but they used to do cosplay chess. That was the most fun thing to watch. It was a big mat, like a chess mat for 3D chess. And the chess pieces were cosplayers that would sign up to do it. And if one chess piece took out another chess piece, you would have a battle for those two characters. So like if someone's cosplaying Sailor Moon and they have to take out Goku, like those cosplayers would have to like actually act out that fight scene and have Goku lose. And they had like two MCs that were actually playing chess with each other. And I remembered that was just like so unique and fun to watch. And I played like once or twice, and I just remember it was like one of the most fun things I've ever done.
Who did you play?
So that's actually how I got my name, Rima. It was my first ever cosplay character is Rima from Vampire Knight.
Okay.
The pigtailed like strawberry blonde that eats Pocky all the time.
Okay.
That was that was my first cosplay.
Did you win?
No. I got taken out like almost immediately.
You remember who took you out?
I think it was, oh god, I can't remember his name. Oh, it's gonna kill me. That like cat boy with the blue hair. He was really popular back then. It was like his last name was Tsukiyomi. What's it? I can't think of it. It's like right there. I'm gonna scream it in the middle of this interview in like an hour.
And we'll know this is what it was for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I know that you are actually a pretty prolific fighter. Your D&D chess, besides when you clearly lost. I know that you spent 6 years and attained a 2nd degree black belt in Taekwondo, achieved a blue belt in karate, as well as training in Tai Chi, Qigong, kickboxing, and Shorin-ryu. Hope I said those right. Firstly, I would like to just apologize if I've ever upset you in any way. And second, what kind of drew you into wanting to pursue the martial arts lifestyle, and where are you at with that today?
So I was actually in ballet when I found out about Taekwondo. My grandma is like the biggest fan of ballet, little old Argentinian woman. She's the cutest thing. She loves ballerinas. She loves anything ballet related. She would take me to the ballet all the time. She wanted so bad for me to be a ballerina. And like at the time, I was the only grandchild that was like a girl. So, I was the worst ballerina. I was so bad. And like I was 4 or 5 and I knew like even with adults. Yeah, like even adults like, oh no, like I knew it was bad. But a Taekwondo instructor came to like my elementary school and they just did a really quick little demo with like those wooden boards, and he asked for a volunteer and I was like, do it. And I broke that board, and he handed out like coupons for us to take home to our parents for like a free week. And my parents were like, oh, well, she's a child, she's gonna do this for a week and then quit. And I did it every single day they were open for 6.5 years. They were closed on Sundays, and that's the only day that I didn't go. I was obsessed. It took a lot of convincing to get me out of ballet, but I was so bad at ballet, and my parents showed up to like one of the free Taekwondo lessons, and they were like, this is like actual, like she enjoys this thing. So
and you were 4 at the time?
I was 4 when I was like starting ballet. I was about 6,
Okay.
and I stopped when I was 12.
Wow. So when did you go from Taekwondo to karate and all these other things?
I took a break because high school and my first couple years of college was really intense, and then I started karate in college. I was kind of um a couple of my friends wanted to start like a karate club and an actual legit dojo because one of my professors is a legitimate instructor. He just didn't have a dojo.
Mm-hmm.
And we have this free gym on campus. So then they just needed a president, and I kind of got voluntold into doing that. So I became the president of the karate club at my college. Um, and then I became really good friends out because of that. I became really good friends with a kickboxing instructor.
Okay.
So I did kickboxing on the weekends. On Friday mornings, we would meet at the karate dojo and we would do Tai Chi and Qigong. And then I actually forgot to mention to you, I also did a couple of months of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but then the pandemic happened, and that's like the worst one that you can do when you're trying to maintain social distance. You're just like hugging someone. So I kind of never went back into it because I recently got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and I'm still trying to get the treatment down properly. So there's just too much inflammation in my body. It was a lot to manage when I was in martial arts. I used to eat raw ginger every morning, like just from the grocery store. I would just chew on it like an apple to try to get my inflammation down. That was before I was arthritic. So it's been on pause for a bit, but I'd love to get into more grappling.
Yeah, that you definitely want to get back into it.
Yeah, because I did all striking my whole life. I did striking until those 2 months of grappling, and like I was way in over my head. Like I sprained my neck on my second lesson during the warm-ups. I was kind of dumb. I showed up to like a beginner class and I was so obsessed. I wanted to go back, and I saw they had like a no-gi all levels. And I was thinking like all levels, including beginner. And it was all people training for like a championship thing. And I sprained my neck during the warm-up and I got punched in the face. Nice. Which is weird because it's not a striking art. They don't teach you like punching really. And it wasn't even someone that but I wasn't even wrestling that person. It was someone else. It was the people next to me. I got punched. Yeah, like I was behind everybody, but I was like the little engine that could for grappling. I was so bad, but like they were all like they were all so supportive because they saw how excited I was. So yeah, I want to do that again so bad.
So when do we get the Rima monk character?
That's the one thing that I haven't played yet is a monk. I have not played a monk yet.
Is there a plan for it, or are you just like that's class is it's not my ball game?
No, I think I will eventually. I guess I just had other classes that were kind of like higher up on my to-do list.
Okay, all right, like a booty cleric.
Yeah, like a cleric that worships butts.
You gotta get it. I get it. So a little bit more about your background. I know you achieved a scholarship for cybersecurity, including related fields in AI, quantum computing, and aerospace. Yeah. Eventually going on to earn a degree in that field. My question, I think, is what is it like having the resume of a secret agent? Is that like something you have to like worry about? Like, do people look at you and say like, no, clearly she's a spy for a foreign government?
Yeah, all the time. I work for a 501c6, which is the funniest part. I work for a nonprofit, and a lot of people they see like the qualifications, and I think they're so used to intelligence being linked to the government, but Yeah, I'm a private sector gal. I like not having to have a security clearance. I you know,
Liability. I get it.
well, also, I really, really hate polygraphs. I'm an anxious person and I don't do well with lie detectors. Like I remember I did a lie detector that they were asking me like very basic like counterterrorism questions, like very basic like unless you're working for a foreign government, that should be the easiest question and I would fail it. And like I ended up passing, but it took like 3 tries. And it was like so traumatic because you're like being interrogated and they're like, we can help you. If people are like threatening your family, we can help you. And I was like, no, I'm a college student. I don't have enough time to be a spy for another country. Um so
So I mean, listen, when you're that good, I mean, I guess people are going to be suspicious of you.
oh, thank you. Hopefully I'm so good I just get hired by a big tech company that makes a lot of money and just wants to pay me a lot to do it.
That's the dream, isn't it?
The government doesn't pay crud.
So, on a serious note, while you do have this wild and personal and professional history up to this point, what was the moment where you thought, I want to try my hand at live streaming?
It was during the pandemic. Most
Yeah.
of my friends started, and I was kind of like a recurring like character on most of my friends' streams. And it got to the point where people would say, "Oh hi, Walrus," or "Oh hi, Nightmare," like my friends. "Oh hi, Mellow," and then they'd say, "Hi, Rima," and they wouldn't even know if I was there or not. They would just assume I was.
Yeah.
And I kept having people like poke at me, like, "You should try it. You should try it." I kept saying, "I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that." And they said, "Okay, just do one.
Yeah.
Do one stream, and if you hate it, you don't have to do it again." And I just never stopped. It was so fun. I liked being able to save funny moments. I also had a habit of like breaking bases. If I'm playing with my friends, I'll break a base. Like, we're building this beautiful base, I'll break it somehow. And just having like proof that it was like a bug or something, or like having proof that I didn't just like chop at it. It kind of, yeah, it helped for like plausible deniability.
Do you remember what like the first thing you streamed on your own was?
On my own. See, I mostly did multiplayer, but I think my first by myself stream was probably Dead by Daylight.
Yeah. What is it about Dead by Daylight that you like so much?
I like that the game is very customizable, and you're like, it's a 4v1, and I like the collaborative aspect of being a survivor. I'm not super competitive, so like I don't really care if I die most of the time.
Right.
I like how every game is different, depending on like what killer you're up against, or what perks and abilities and items that you bring in. So, each game is going to be vastly different than the last one. It gets really addictive.
Do you have like a favorite killer survivor perk breakdown?
I think my favorite perk that I've stayed very, very consistent with, even when I'm trying to do like vastly different builds, I always use balance landing. And it's not one that I see a lot of people use, but it's like if you jump off of something, you get a speed boost for like a couple seconds that you can basically like traverse the map. So as long as you find like a hill or a ledge or a set of stairs or something that you can jump on and hop off, you can put like a lot of distance between yourself and the killer. So I like that perk a lot. And then for the killer, I think my favorite perk, it's probably gonna be Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. It's there's like these special hooks around the map that if a killer brought that perk with him, when he hooks you, it'll take the generator with the most progress and like explode it, and you get a notification and it regresses in progress. So it's really quite the bastard if you're trying to play against someone that has it, but it's really fun to kind of like watch yourself working on a generator and you see someone about to get hooked and everyone just kind of like backs off the generator for a second to see if it explodes.
What's your favorite killer do you play the killer a lot or no?
No.
Okay, do you have a favorite to go against?
I do. I like Huntress. I like her big muscles. Her big old strong hatchet throwing muscles. I just want her to pick me up and give me a piggyback ride. Like
right to a hook.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite killer
However,
to go against?
Probably the Soul Merchant. It's one of the newer ones from this year. I just feel like those matches last a really long time. She sets up little like drones that she can watch you, and she can kind of like, because she can have 3 at a time, she can, as soon as you reach endgame, she can put 1 on each gate. So you can't really get out. Like it creates like 45-minute long games. I've had games last forever, and like I just want out. I just want out. Just set me free from this match specifically. Like the game's over. Why was the end game 30 minutes ago? We're still here.
So, shifting over to your live stream D&D life. What can you tell us?
You're right, Cryptic. It was Ikuto. I'm sorry. That's the name. That's the name of the guy.
Okay.
Sorry. Continue.
Do you remember what his final move was when he killed you in the dice game, the chess game?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if he had a special move.
It was like 15 years ago.
Fair enough. I'm lucky I can remember 15 hours ago. So. Where was I? So, shifting over to the live stream D&D show you're a member of, what can you tell us about your experience with D&D before the show?
Oh, it's been something that I crave on a regular basis. I can't get enough of it. I started in college with that anime club that I crashed in high school. We kind of kept in touch. One of our friends, his parents have like an extended garage that was supposed to be a man cave for his dad, but his dad never uses it. So they just left it unlocked, and we would like go, it was like really deep into their backyard. So unless you knew it was there, they weren't worried about being robbed or anything. So they just always left their gate unlocked, and they always left the extended garage unlocked, and we would hang out there like every day. You could just show up and there'd be people there like playing Switch games and stuff, and eventually we were like, let's just play D&D. Like if we're gonna be here all the time, let's just play D&D. But it wasn't actually D&D, it was Pathfinder.
Okay.
So I started with Pathfinder. Then I moved out to DC and I found an anime club out there. I always need one. So I found a group that they're called Comics and Cocktails, and they would meet up every Monday in DC, and they have a forever DM, and we would play D&D, Monster of the Week, and we would do all sorts of like one shots if he couldn't support like a whole big group. He would even host like a murder mystery party once a year where he would rent out like a big Airbnb creepy mansion, and we would like all show up in costumes and stuff and play like an actual real life murder mystery. So like just LARPing and role play and tabletop is just like, I feel like that cup is never quite full.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What would you prefer more, like a tabletop game or a LARP?
I feel like for the meat and potatoes is the tabletop, and then like the desserts is LARPing, you know, because LARPing is, it can get really exhausting, especially, you know, because I have narcolepsy. I don't really replenish physical energy. And even just being able to play D&D online has opened up a lot of accessibility to me, just because, you know, I'm comfortable and I'm in my own home.
Yeah.
And I can just wake up and play. So, you know, the couple of LARPing events that I do every year are probably as much as I can handle.
So I know you do Wasteland. I know you do Neo. Are there any other LARPs that you do throughout the year?
There's little mini wastelands, like there's Nuclear Winter is another one, and I didn't get to do Wasteland this year, so that was kind of sad. But there's also, you know, like I suppose the murder mystery stuff could also count as LARPing. So I guess just little things like that. There's a lot of, even just like, we would do Wasteland takeovers of bars and stuff, and we would all show up in our LARPing stuff, and the bar would be expecting us. Don't worry. And you know, so I think we kind of keep that stuff going as much as we can year round.
Do you have a favorite LARP?
I gotta say, maybe it's because it was. Well, actually, no. I don't think I can choose. I know if I had to pick like a 1-day thing, the Labyrinth of Jareth. That's kind of classified as a LARPing event. That was so much fun. But like Wasteland is probably. Wasteland is my favorite apart from the weather.
Okay. What
like Neotropolis, yeah, Neotropolis has better weather. This year is a bad example because there was a solar flare, but
that'll do it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know the schedules for those. What's Wasteland's weather time period?
Wasteland is like late September to like
okay.
It's like the last weekend in September. And Neotropolis is in April.
Okay.
Like mid-April. So like when it comes to being in the desert, you know, if it's over 100 degrees in the Mojave, it can get really, really bad. I know I was working Neotropolis and I thought I was going to be so comfy because my costume was like a RoboCop costume.
Right.
I was covered head to toe in armor, long black sleeves, long black pants, gloves, big knee-high boots, a overhead helmet. My helmet melted. Like it was
Jesus.
it was really, really hot. I got a lot of sympathy from people, but it was so much fun. Like it was pretty miserable though, but it was I would do it again.
Is there
10
a
out of
fan
10.
in the helmet at least?
No.
Oh my god.
They actually, so they weren't expecting that because last year it was below freezing at nighttime. They actually brought heaters.
Wow.
I brought like a whole bunch of like insulated clothing for that. Like I thought I was going to be cold at nighttime in that armor. I was warm.
Lo and behold. So, LARPs aside, I know you said you've done a lot of different tabletop games. Do you all the games you do play in? Do you typically stream those now, or do you still have a good, healthy at home tabletop presence?
I have a really healthy at home tabletop presence.
Yeah.
I like to balance both, and I always ask all the players first if it's not something like, for instance, my current live stream that I do every other Thursday on my channel where I have the Booty Cleric, you know, that was on it still is on a streamer's Discord channel, but I wanted to make sure everyone was comfortable with me streaming. And I've joined online games where I've asked if people are comfortable with me streaming, and they say no. I say okay, and I still join. I love D&D first and foremost, and if I stream it, then that's okay. But I kind of don't prioritize, like, this might be like a bad thing to say, I don't know, but I don't prioritize my stream when I'm playing every other Thursday. I prioritize making sure I'm like paying attention. I do interact with my stream, but it's a secondary action for me.
Yeah, I remember watching a few episodes, and it seems like, not, I don't mean this in like a disrespectful way, but it's more of like we're getting to view someone playing a tabletop game, whereas with like Queer and Present Danger, it's a tabletop game made around a stream.
Yes, exactly.
Do you have any other streams that you do besides the two, or no?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't think I think other than the one shots I've done here,
Right.
I haven't streamed any D&D except for that one campaign.
Okay. Is that something you want to do in the future?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stream as much as I can. I just, I want to make sure everyone's comfortable with that, though.
What do you prefer, like the more produced stream, or like the one where you're just letting people voyeur your stream, your game rather?
We prefer the more put together, just for like the viewer experience. If I'm prioritizing the stream, if I'm gonna be playing anyway, and we're gonna be playing online, I'm kind of thinking like, oh, would this be a fun thing to stream, like while we're already all set up? And I think streaming is more like I just really want to have fun with my friends, and I'll press a button that makes me go live while I do it. But the production value, it's always nice, but it's not my top priority for my stream. I'd say I'd prioritize it more for you guys.
The whole channel's kind of built around it.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
So what kind of made you want to be a cast member for an all LGBTQ plus show like Queer and Present Danger?
Means I got to play more D&D. Like, I was like, more D&D. What you say? Yeah, just any excuse, man. I can't get enough of this, and also really enjoyed being on the Christmas one that we did the night before Wintercrest, I believe. Yes. And big motherfucking crab truckers. That was my whole, like, that was my Wasteland peeps. That was so much fun.
Yeah, the Goodberry shows are a lot of fun, especially the one we did last night was just insane. And I don't know if you watched it, but like it started out like just fucking dummies and a bunch of lunatics. Ended up like half of the cast members are like crying.
Oh my god! It looked fun.
It was great.
From like the description of it, but I couldn't stop in, unfortunately.
I played a space Viking who betrayed his family for some guy. It was insane.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it just to watch everyone cry.
So what kind of challenges have you faced as a content creator in the geek space, and like how have you kind of overcome them? Like what's the journey been like for you?
Honestly, I haven't really had any major challenges. I would say it's not even really just a major challenge. It's kind of just a fact of life, but a lot of times I'm just not relatable to the audiences that I would be reaching with like the games that I play. And there's only so many ways that you can like gain viewership if you aren't someone that like the viewer can relate to. And it's not really, again, it's kind of not like my priority I don't want to sound like I don't care about my channel, because I really care and I love the community that I've built, but I wanted to build it from a really authentic place. And I don't want to be playing games that I don't like just to get viewers, and I don't want to play more often than I want to just because I want viewers, and I don't want to put myself on a strict schedule just because, and if there's been like a lot of times where like most of my friends that I play with are like guys, and a lot of times people will come into my stream and then they'll say, hey, who are the guys that you're playing with, and I'll give them a shout out and they'll leave and they'll go over there, and that's where I want them to be. I want them to be surrounded in viewers that can relate to them, and I want the viewers to have that experience where they're hanging out with people that they kind of feel a bit more like at ease around. If you'd be more comfortable hanging out with a dude while playing Sons of the Forest, I want that for you. So I wouldn't say it's a challenge though, as much as it is just kind of something that I've observed is kind of part of like being a female like content creator that plays like a lot of horror games and a lot of like survival games and stuff like that. You might have like a hard time with that initial connection to your audience, whereas I think my viewership tends to be people that are like part of the LGBT community and the poly community as well. I know there's not a lot of people that use that tag, disabled community. People want to be around content creators that they can kind of, I guess, like see a little bit of themselves in.
Okay.
So and it's such a like small subset of people that are on Twitch. So I guess just reminding myself that this isn't like, it's a job, but it's not a job. Like, it should never feel like a job.
Right.
And just staying true to the person that you were before you started streaming is really important to me.
So where do you see yourself going with this? Like, is this something that you want to pursue full time, or is this something that you are strictly relegating to like a hobby, and if it ever gets there, yay?
That's tough, because I do also I am passionate about my job. I don't think I could ever leave the tech space. Mm-hmm. I would say in the hypothetical scenario where my stream super mega kicks off and I can't even ignore the fact that it just makes more sense for me to commit more to it, I would still want to maybe do like cybersecurity consulting on the side. Mm-hmm. I still wouldn't dedicate 100% of my life to streaming.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I mean, you got to do what makes you happy, the happiest, you know what I mean? It's the most important thing.
Well, I just wouldn't be me without it.
Right.
And y'all deserve that.
Fair enough. So, kind of switching a little bit back towards like the D&D conversation. What kind of characters do you enjoy playing when you play D&D or these tabletop games?
I like the role play heavy characters. I kind of like making like silly, like funny characters, but I don't want them to not be useful. Right. So most of the time I come up with the character like role play concept, and then I kind of think, well, what class do I think would work best for that? And then, how could I optimize, like what race would be better to, like, I guess, make sure that my stats aren't all jumbled up. like I work backwards from the role play, and like the character's personality and like their quirks first.
Okay. So how would you kind of rank your breakdown in your mind of like the things that are most important for you, like between combat, role play, mystery, and exploration? Like where do you tier those?
Definitely role play first. Combat second, mystery third, exploration fourth. Did I miss one?
Nope, that was it. Just a 4.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I know you said role playing is the most important thing, followed closely by followed second by combat. So when you build your stats out, which kind of takes precedence in that?
Like combat.
Combat. So
Yeah.
are you like a min-maxer?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'm a little bit min-max, yeah. Because, I mean, I want a roleplay heavy character, but I also don't want to be useless
Right.
to the rest of the party.
Okay. Do you have like a least favorite part of D&D or no?
My least favorite part of D&D is that a lot of groups just fizzle out over time, and that makes me really sad because there's been some great like D&D groups that I've been in, and I've gotten really attached to the story and the characters that I've made. You know, I put a lot of effort into my characters. Even if I churn them out quickly, I put a lot into them, and you know, it makes me sad to not have that closure.
Is there a character that you've lost through the fizzling out that you just still hold on to? Like, I want this person's story to get told?
Yeah, but it was for a Fate campaign, and I don't know anyone else that's willing to learn the Fate system so that I can bring him back. But his name was Titus, and it was a campaign that I was in with an ex and his friend group. So when we broke up, you know, I tried to kind of keep playing, but the ex wasn't really like moving on, and I didn't think it was fair that like I was just hanging out with his friends.
Right.
So but I loved his nickname was Dr. Himbo, and that is one of my favorite characters I have ever played in like a tabletop, because the setting was like a city in the sky, and this deity was that was keeping the city up in the sky. He would give people the wrong job on purpose to keep them subservient. So my character was built like a barbarian, and he was super strong and buff, but like he was so dumb. And that deity was like, "You're a doctor," and he was like, "I'm a doctor," and it was so fun to play him because we had an actual doctor as one of the other players that was put in prison for malpractice. And my doctor sucks at being a doctor, and he's a real one, but everyone listened to my dumbass. Like, but he was so sweet, and I gave him an ability called placebo. So he actually sometimes cured people because they felt so at ease. He would be like, "Hey man," like someone's like stabbed. He'd be like, hey man, you know, when was the last time you stopped to look at this beautiful day? You want to sit down? Just take a load off with me. Just take a load off. You know, you look like you're going through some stuff. Your guts don't really, I don't think they're supposed to be on the outside. Let's just sit down for a minute, okay? And like he was charisma based, but he was built like a barbarian and didn't know he was strong, and he was so dumb.
Why don't you just reskin him for a different system?
I don't know how I'd make that work.
Yeah.
I called him the Bardbarian.
Is that your craziest D&D story, the Dr. Himbo?
No.
Okay. Well, then what tops that?
Well, I guess it's still not D&D, but I played Monster of the Week, and I was another character's overbearing Jersey mom. I think I told you about that one at one point. But he was the gumshoe, so think like a noir, like serious, like I'm gonna need to investigate this, and then I'd be like, get an ashtray, you're getting ashes all over my new couch. I just had it. Like, it was so great. And he'd be like, I don't need an ashtray, Mom. I'm a grown man. And she's like, you're making everything smell like tobacco. I'm trying to make sandwiches for you and your friends. And like, it was just me scolding him like the whole time while he was trying to do his stuff. It was like I would say that was the craziest, because we went off topic so much just because I would hijack things. At least that's the craziest, like, appropriate D&D story I can tell.
Okay. So when you start to create these characters, are you like pulling parts from yourself, or are these things that are just kind of totally outside of the realm of everything?
It's totally outside the realm of everything. It's totally I don't like putting myself into characters. No. I hang out with myself all the time. I don't want to hang out with myself when I'm trying to escape reality.
Actually, I gotta take care of something real quick, so we're gonna jump on and take a real quick break, and we'll be right back. And we are back. Okay, so I know we're not too far into Queer and Present Danger, but do you have any questions that you have so far and can't wait to find out as far as like the story is concerned, like little details that have been revealed?
Yeah, I want to know where the princess is. I want to know where she is. I want to know what happened to her, and I want to know what's going on in that library that conveniently closed right after the wedding. That had the only clue in it. Like,
is there a setting that you would like to play in that you haven't yet?
Space.
Is there a specific system that you want to play in?
Well, StarCraft.
StarCraft?
Sorry, not StarCraft. Starfinder. Why did I say StarCraft? Starfinder.
If you said StarCraft, that was a way different conversation we were going to get into.
No, it was Starfinder. That was just like, I don't know. The word StarCraft came out because I say that word more often. But Starfinder. I want to play Starfinder.
Do you want to DM or play?
Oh, play. I'm not a DM.
No. Is there any system that you're like, I really want to DM this game?
No.
Okay.
I feel like if I had more time, I would.
There's so many games I want to play. No one DMs.
Sorry.
It's the curse of the forever DM. Do you have like a cool character concept that you haven't had a chance to play yet?
Yes, I want to play a bard that's a warforged that just does dubstep.
He's got a speaker in his chest. All right, a little bit more QAPD questions. Who would you cast to play Bloom?
So, I think that little girl from Game of Thrones, that like really badass little girl that
yes. She's in Last of Us now.
Ramsey, Bella Ramsey. Yeah, I think she would be good at playing Bloom.
Yeah, she's in Game of Thrones. Last of Us now as well. She's a phenomenal actress. I don't know why I'm blanking on her name though. But yeah.
She would have to have like a blonde wig, but that wouldn't be too difficult. I feel like she'd be able to.
Bella Ramsey.
Yeah, I think so. something.
Bella
I think
Ramsey
it's
sounds like a Game of Thrones character's name too. So
that's fair, but I think that is her like actual name. I don't remember what her name was in Game of Thrones though.
Mormont, something Mormont.
Oh.
Anyways,
Yeah.
before we go down this rabbit hole,
Cryptic will find it. I already know he's on Google right now.
Do you have a dream guest for the show? Liana Mormont is the name.
See? Knew it.
Cryptic's killing it out there.
A dream guest for the show. That's a good one, I think.
Under the criteria that it has to be someone of the LGBTQ community.
Oh, that's easy. Like most of my friends are. I'm trying to think. Definitely someone from like Wasteland or Neotropolis. I know we've had a lot of them on though. But since we've already had like a lot of them guest on here. I really want to answer this one though. I feel like Ian, his partner would be really fun. Ian that was in Big Motherfucking Crab Truckers. His partner, they're pretty awesome. I feel like they would make a really fun character and they would be really fun to like role play with.
Any celebrity guests?
Oh, Lady Gaga. Oh. Oh,
so
fast. Oh my god. Lady Gaga, 100%. I love her.
Any advice for players wanting to get into role-playing their characters more?
Make fun of them. Make fun of your character. Like, kind of put yourself in the position of like, how would I mock this person? I feel like it's a lot easier to kind of come up with a way to make fun of a character if you're like trying to role play, because I feel like when you're performing things, you think you're doing something this big and you're actually doing it like this big. So if you're mocking and you're like over exaggerating, I feel like it comes across better and like clearer.
Okay. What constitutes metagaming in your eyes?
I think when I think about whether it's metagaming, I always want to make sure, is this something that Rima, like as a player, knows, or is this something that my character knows? You know, is this something that like I just want to make sure it's fair to like newer players, you know. For instance, if we're going up against something and it quite obviously looks like a mind flayer, and we have someone brand new and they don't know what that is, would that give me an unfair advantage? Or is it something that like my character has actually come across mind flayers before, or they may have been educated in that, and you know, then I could do a roll, and then if that roll is successful, then I know what that thing means. But like there's been times where I've been in agony because like I rolled like a 3 on something that is like, I think it was actually the one shot that my group did with it was a siren when I was auditioning for Queer and Present Danger, and like it was so obviously a siren. It was so obvious, and all of us rolled so poorly. And we were just like, yeah, we have no clue what that is. We have no idea. What is that thing? But we were all in so much agony because we had to pretend we didn't know. Yeah.
The one I always see the most being like the easiest thing for someone to metagame is trolls with fire.
trolls with fire.
'Cause the
Oh,
only way to
like so,
keep
like
them down.
OP.
No, the only way to keep them
Oh,
down is to burn them. So
that yeah.
that's
Uh,
always the one that catches people.
yeah. If you could do like a roll to see like, oh, what's this thing weak against? I
Yeah.
could see that. That I think for me, it's like avoiding situations that are gonna end badly, but you just, yeah, that's definitely not a mimic. Yeah, that when in the Christmas one shot, I was literally sitting there like, one of these Christmas presents is gonna be a mimic. Roll. Nope, everything looks great. Let's open it. Like,
I feel like you've already kind of answered this. Anything you haven't talked about already, or talked about yet, rather, that you enjoy outside of D&D and tabletop games?
I like playing GTA Online.
GTA Online.
It's more role playing, man. I was in a cult in one. I'm in a biker gang now. Like, it's just all role play. Escapism. That's my hobby.
So I know you've said you've cosplayed before. Do you have like a favorite cosplay that you've done? Is it something you want to get back into?
I have a favorite that's also a least favorite. It was the most popular one, but it was my least favorite because it was the most popular one.
Okay.
I was Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls.
Okay.
My friends and I were Powerpuff Girls, and this was really before people were cosplaying that. And it kind of started a huge surge of people cosplaying that. At least I started noticing that happening. But we made our costumes and we all got pulled aside and were invited to like compete, and we were like, we just wanted to come to this convention and like have fun, and they were like, please compete. So they're like, okay. And we ended up winning for like our division. And I remember, we had like 2 days to prepare. So we tried to do like just like run around the room like this, and with the theme song going, and just hit people in the nostalgia instead of trying to choreograph something super big. And we got off that stage and people were like crying. Like the organizers were crying. They were like, oh my God. And yeah, we won, and people spent years on their costumes. I felt so awful. Like for years, people were saying that I looked familiar, and I'd be like, Powerpuff Girls. They'd be like, yes. And like years, I'm saying years. Actually, a couple years later, I ran into one of the people that made costume, like that, like armor, that they took like 2 years to make it. And he was ranting about me and my friends, and he didn't know that it was some guy that my friends invited to go to a hookah bar, and he was like, yeah, I lost to the fucking Powerpuff Girls. Fucking frilly ass bitches, just like, twirling around in their dresses. Like their costumes were so basic. Like, it's just the Powerpuff Girls. It's a circle skirt. I spent like years on my armor, and like everyone got really quiet. And I like, that's just that cosplay has like haunted me. And he felt really bad, and he actually ended up being a friend of mine and like helping me with costumes after that. But like, yeah, it's just it kind of seemed like every time I tried to cosplay something else, I only cosplayed at that one con, and it just followed me.
Yeah. Is it something you want to do again or no?
I would do it again now. It's been over 10 years. I think I would, and especially now that like a lot of Powerpuff Girls cosplays kind of exist, like it's a more common thing to cosplay. I feel like people have gotten their picture of a Powerpuff cosplay group out of the way now. But like we actually couldn't enjoy the con because we had to plan at least an hour ahead, because we would get stopped for photos every couple feet. It was, but like at the same time, it was really nice to like have your work recognized. So it's like, it was my first love-hate relationship with a costume that like I think was actually at both extremes.
Yeah.
Like the far ends of that.
Are we gonna get a Bloom cosplay at some point?
I don't know. I feel like I would have to like I would love to cosplay, especially for like every stream, but I would have to have body paint.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have like a very white blonde wig and very purple body paint. And that paint will probably dye the wig a little bit. So the wig, it might be difficult. I'd have to really like freeze out this room every time I played. But maybe for like
a con.
special occasions.
Like a con or something like that. Could you see doing a Bloom?
Possibly. I think I might sweat and it might ruin the costume faster. Because she wears a lot of like white and purple and her skin is purple. So like all the white's gonna be purple. Yeah. So like maybe for like special occasions.
Okay. Is there someone you want to cosplay that you haven't yet? That you like, it's like sitting there in the back of your mind, like I really want to cosplay this person?
Avatar Kyoshi.
That sound came out weird, and then my brain processed what you said. Avatar Kyoshi, got it. So where do you kind of want to go from here? Like, what is your goals? Like, what's your next 5 years look like in this space?
Well, I just want to keep having fun with my friends. Yeah. I want to keep making new friends. I want to play D&D, and then I want to make more friends that play D&D so I can play more D&D, and then make more friends that play D&D so I can play more D&D. This was all just this was all just my evil plan was for me to become a streamer so that I could audition for a D&D show so that I could just play D&D forever.
Oh, and you met me. Your life is complete.
Yep, I can die now. Goodbye, Joe. It's been nice knowing you.
So, how have all these, like, all this nerdy and geeky passions of yours, how have they kind of affected your life and your mental health throughout the years?
It's improved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is gonna really good example. My first character, that Pathfinder one, she is the reason I was diagnosed with narcolepsy. I was so busy at college, my DM said we need to write in a way for you to be gone really randomly. I said, I'll just make her narcoleptic. You just say she's asleep. And I was looking up the symptoms and I was like, I didn't know that wasn't normal. That's not everyone has that happen. All the players were like, no, bitch, what the fuck? Like, that happens to you? I was like, yeah. And they were like, how have you been coping? And I swear I thought everyone was just better at staying awake than me. And so like I actually was seeing a sleep specialist because of like everything, and I just didn't know to tell him about those symptoms because I thought it was like I thought all my symptoms were normal. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
So yeah, in a weird way, Pathfinder at least is the reason that I got diagnosed when I did. I don't know if I would have been diagnosed at all. Hopefully I would have been. Like, hopefully I would have caught on eventually. But mental health has also been good. I was 22.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like, I mean, mental health, that's like an easy one because it's like it's scientifically proven that like role play and improv work is good for your mental health. Yeah. Like, that's basic science right there.
It's basic bitch stuff.
Yeah, it's like science. It's like I play D&D. Listen, you know, if it means I'm healthier, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You twisted my arm.
Oh no, I've got to role play more.
Oh no.
Please,
Doctor ordered.
Don't make me make more characters. So, are there any specific geek franchises or characters that have had a significant influence on you and the work you do in this space?
I like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think they have a good balance of like big magic frou-frou and like normies that are just like down to pick up a club and like just go and like start whacking things like big monsters, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of like that. And I like the collaborative aspect. I like the small group, like the adventuring party aspect of it. You know, I always like to think of like the perfect adventuring party would be like you know, Team Avatar and like Buffy and her friends.
Do you think a lot of those shows where they have this like team aspect has kind of influenced the way modern superhero stories are told, especially in like TV?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think it just works. Honestly, I think it's relatable. You know, it's usually all like young adults, children, and stuff like that. I think everyone wants to uh kind of wants to think that they could be capable of like going out and saving the world and stuff like that. And I think it makes modern like superhero stories a lot easier to ingest if people can like relate to the characters that are in those stories, even if it's like the character that's just the comic relief
Right.
that doesn't have any powers at all, that like thinks that they're useless, but you know, Sokka's the idea guy. And he has his boomerang that always comes back, and you know, like he's relatable a lot to me because you know, like sometimes when I'm down in the dumps, I feel like I'm just surrounded in superheroes, and like how the fuck could I um be like a key contributor, but like the group falls apart when he's not around.
Yeah.
You know, same with like Xander in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay. What do you find most rewarding about being in this geek space and the content you create?
Just meeting other geeky people.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to meet other geeky people. I think it's so hard to well, it's not hard, I suppose. There are spaces you can go, like crashing other schools' anime clubs.
Right.
You know, yeah, like you do. But you know, I'm reaching like the world, you know. I have friends everywhere now, and you know, thanks to technology I can play D&D with them. And you know, I played D&D from my hotel room in DC because I had to work in person. Last time we had Queer and Present Danger, I can just do that.
Yeah.
So I think it makes it more accessible. And it keeps groups together longer. It's easier to coordinate schedules. So, you know, I think, yeah, I think it's honestly just all benefits. I know I miss in-person D&D, but I'd rather have it online than not at all.
Yeah. You do prefer in person over online though?
Yeah, I think it's fun to like see everyone's facial expressions and have the clackety clack noises. You know, you can hear your rocks, your like nice clicky rocks, and just like sit there and just yes. Like it's so satisfying. And there's like nuances too, even with just like the DM, you know, like
Right.
facial expressions.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest complaint about playing online is that you miss a lot of the opportunity for nuanced roleplay.
Yeah. Yeah, like when a DM, you'll say like, "Oh, well, can I do this really weird thing?" And the DM's like, "Yes. Yes, go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and do it right now." Yeah. It's like I miss that stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to take us into our cast most likely section, which is a list inspired by your DM, Cece. So, this is basically what you think, which of the characters in Queer and Present Danger is most likely. So while we get through this, we're going to go from this directly into our Dicey Questions segment. So if you have any questions for Rima, start getting those in the chat now. So once we finish up these sections, we can dive right into your viewer questions. That being said, let's see. What's a good one? I know you don't know these characters a lot yet. Let me see here.
Oh yeah, Cryptic's mentioning though I cast Spirit Guardians and it'll be like Shakira or Lady Gaga. I love my booty cleric.
Okay. I had to get all these names up myself. So, for those of you that haven't ever seen the show, we have Aerolith, who plays Talia. We have Rima, who plays Bloom. We have Damiano, who plays Tobias. We have Kate, who plays Ashira. And we have Starshine, who plays Arawu. I think I said that right. So, let us get into this. Who is, let's start, most likely to become a celebrity?
I feel like either Irawa or Ashira.
Why do you feel like that?
They just have that like that presence, you know, that like confidence. Like, have you ever just met a celebrity and you don't even really recognize what they're from, but you just know that they are one because they're very like regal looking almost. Like,
yeah,
their characters just kind of have that
energy,
presence. Yeah.
Most likely to be great with kids.
Ashiro or Irawo, like they are honestly already the people that like kind of keep Toby and Bloom in check. Yeah, that last episode of Queer and Present Danger where Talia was, it was like what's it called? It was like a babysitter movie almost, where like the kids are just going like crazy pants, and there's just like a teenager like, oh my god, what do I do with them? They're everywhere. So yeah, I feel like Ashira does a good job kind of reining in Toby, and Irawo does a good job at reining in Bloom.
Oh, I want to dive into that question so much more, but I don't want spoilers. Who's the most likely to have a villain arc?
I feel like probably Bloom.
Yeah.
But like a relatable villain. Not she if she would have a villain arc, it would be because she genuinely has like a mission and she just doesn't want people in her way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she would go out of her way to prevent casualties, because for her, she's a necromancer. They're all just friends. They're all just her friends, right? If you die, it's not necessarily the end. Like, so, you know, and her losing her parents at such a young age, it does a lot to your development, you know, especially if you work with death and morbidity isn't like shocking to you.
Right. We all know that Mortician's kid. It's just a weirdo.
Exactly.
Who is most likely to develop an unhealthy obsession?
I feel like Bloom.
Oh, I feel like Tobias is the. I can see that kid.
Really?
I can see that kid just being like finding some weird random thing and just going off the deep end.
You know, that's true. That's
I feel
true.
like Bloom's a little more focused. She's got a little bit more of an idea what she wants.
What is the difference between obsessed and focused?
You know what? You're 100% right. I was taking it as a different way, like thinking of like some unhealthy obsession somewhere else. But yeah, no, Bloom's already probably got that.
I can
Most
see
likely
Toby,
to commit
though.
a war crime on accident.
I feel like that would be a Toby thing to do. I like he would like grab an apple out of like the very bottom of the big stack of apples, and then like they would all come crashing down and he'd be walking away munching on this apple, and one apple would just roll across and like nudge a wagon wheel, and then the wagon would like ride into a small fire pit and then go forward into like a tavern and then set the whole tavern on fire, and like then the whole town is on fire and he's like walking towards us with an apple. He's like, all right guys, I'm ready to go.
So, who's most likely to commit a war crime on purpose?
On purpose? I don't know. I don't feel like I know the characters enough to know that. They all seem really nice to me. I hate to keep answering Bloom, but I feel like given her past, if she were in a position where like her hand was forced, she would do it to get the job done.
Yeah. All right, last couple here. All right, most likely to start a cult.
I think Toby by accident.
Okay. Most likely to
Like-
join a cult.
Toby by accident.
Okay.
I think like when Toby gets older, he totally seems like the kind of like character that would just start having people follow him around, and he'd be like, wow, like they're just so nice to me.
Sweet innocent boy. All right, well, that is going to end the most likely section. So now we're going to switch into our dicey question segment. This is a holdover from the very first interview show we did. So you're going to go ahead and roll a d20, and we have a list of 20 questions, and this is you're going to give me your answer to it.
Okay.
And if you have any last-minute questions you want to get in here for our amazing guest, Rima, go ahead and start getting those in now, because once we finish this, then it's going to be on to those questions.
Oh yeah, we got plenty.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a nat 20.
All right. All right. If you had a presentation with no prep time, what would be your chosen subject?
How to do metal vocals.
How to do metal vocals. Okay. Can
Yeah,
give me
because you don't need a
preview of this?
PowerPoint. A preview of it.
Yeah. How do you do metal vocals?
Oh man, I've been drinking some stuff that's not good. I can do like a cheater one. Well, so the way you do like metal vocals, you know how Britney Spears, how she does that like thing where she goes like before
What was that?
I don't
You
know if
make
you
that
can
sound
hear
again?
it. That like before every sentence to go oh baby that like weird like you just do that. That's literally metal vocals, but you do that with like power, and you literally like punch your gut, and like yeah, you can just do it. I guess if I unbutton this it might be easier, but like the easier way to do it is like to just go You can't even hear it.
Nope.
Nope. See, it's mostly quiet. I'll just do the fake inhale pig squeal of like the. Can you still not hear it?
No, it's completely
Discord?
like that is not meant to be recorded.
What if I back up?
No, your mic's just not. It's just instantly classifying it as like background noise.
What if I try different ones?
Give me
Let
the
me
full
see.
range.
Maybe if I start out in a sing song and I go into a scream, like nope, nope. It cuts off as soon as the scream starts, right?
Yeah.
Like I can see the Discord green go off.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
You gotta turn off your background remover.
Yeah, make sure it's not a web presentation
Yeah.
if I have to do it without prep.
All right. I gotta get you and Donald to place Tristan on Forging Fates together because he was in a screamo band for a long time.
Well, we're gonna have to do a lot of mic check for that.
Yeah.
I have a recording somewhere of me doing it, but I don't have time to pull that up.
All right, give me another D20 roll.
Yeah.
Natural one.
No, it's a nat 20.
Oh, all right, roll again. With your loaded fucking dice.
That's a 2.
All right. Let's see here. Favorite franchise and least favorite franchise.
Oh my god, that's so difficult. Okay, favorite franchise. I just found it. Sense8.
Okay.
Like it's not really like a franchise because it kind of died early, but like God, I just loved that freaking show.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Least favorite.
Of like the big major franchises, because I mean, there's a fucking billion franchises that no one's ever heard of, I'm sure. But
Can I cheat and say Harry Potter because she's like a turf?
you can say whatever you want. This is your interview.
Because I do like Harry Potter. I just freaking JKR is a turf, so I don't like it anymore.
No separation between art and artist.
Not for I think as soon as we get into franchise, it is her franchise. So like I can appreciate the characters and like the creation that she's made and like where it's gone, but the franchise itself, it does belong to her, and it was, so oh my fucking god.
Spider's back.
It's happening.
He's back.
It only happens here.
Oh, I see him. He's trying to become a big YouTuber. I don't know if she can even hear me anymore. The spider needs a name.
I can hear you, but like, where'd it go?
Your keyboard.
Oh my god, but I caught it in here. I hate my life, Joe. I don't know where it is. I'm standing for the rest of this. I'm standing. This is so unfair. It's like a smaller one too, so I know it had babies. And I have, okay, mild rant. I have had my ceiling fan on every single time I sit right here ever since that happened. And it didn't give a single crap. Like, it didn't care. It just went down like this. You saw it. What do I do? Now that ceiling fans don't work, what do I do?
Make friends with him and offer him small sacrifices.
You know what? What do we want to name him?
He needs a name, obviously. I'm going to tag him in all the videos from now on.
Oh my god. Like, and it was, I know it wasn't the same one, because this one was smaller. This one was smaller. I'm like looking for his like nest now. Spooky is useless, Cryptic. Spooky's useless. She doesn't do her job. She can't catch spiders. She can barely eat a cat treat sometimes. Like, see, I tried to catch it in the dice tray and I don't see it now. Like, I feel like it's on the chair somewhere. Wait, continue. I'm just gonna do this. Like, I'm just gonna. We don't believe in chairs anymore. I think it's on the chair.
All right, we'll wrap this up then.
No, I'm here.
Give me one more dice
Here we
roll, and
go.
then we'll move on to the questions from the community.
Okay. 3.
3. Okay. You have a team of 4 to save the world. Who are you picking? They can be from any franchise, anything, anime, movies, TV shows, anything.
Okay, Batman for his money. Because like sometimes you just need funding.
Spider-Man, obviously. At this point, there's enough signs.
I feel like he's gonna tag along anyway. He might be like a bonus 5th. Lady Gaga, because I just want to be around her, and if the world ends, like I want to meet Lady Gaga first.
Okay.
After that, I feel like we can have Superman, because he can fly and he's strong, and that's like 2 solid superpowers in like one person with not a whole lot of weaknesses. Deadpool, because he'll keep everyone like entertained, and he's like also like can't really die. So, you know, I think that's 4.
Yeah, you got Batman, Deadpool, Superman, and Lady Gaga.
Awesome. I'm totally paying attention.
All right. Let's move on to the chat questions.
Okay.
So these are going to be all from Cryptic, who is our 450th Twitch follower. So thank you so much, Cryptic, for the follow. Holler at you. Let's see here. If you had to describe a character in the show who is the biggest foil to Bloom, who would you say it is so far?
Probably Toby.
Toby?
I don't think Bloom is used to being around other children.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like not being a child around adults and having like another child to kind of like validate everything and like go along with everything she wants to do. Like we've already seen it happen. It's kind of chaotic, which I love. What? This is a normal interview.
Yeah, this is all perfectly normal. Nothing to see here.
Wait till CC finds out.
In recent memory, what was the most critical role you remember failing, and how did you play it out?
Fudge. I don't think I rolled a critical failure in recent memory. I've rolled like 2s or 3s. But
Well, it doesn't say critical fail. It just says what's a critical role that you failed, like a big important role that you failed.
Okay. In recent memory, honestly, it was probably the one to identify the siren in the one shot.
Yeah.
And I role played it like I was just the dumbest. I'm like, wow, it's a humanoid looking creature, but with a fishtail. Wow. Never heard of it.
That's just strange.
Yeah, that's so weird. That's funky. That's a little kooky.
All right. Is there any character you've used previously that you think you'd use/modify to replace Bloom or Aramora if anything happened to them, or would you roll someone else?
I'd probably roll someone else, because yeah, my characters, they're kind of specific to the campaign. I always have them in mind with the campaign. I have a couple of character concepts that would fit, but because I've played so many different systems, I'd have to modify them a lot just to like fit into 5th edition. So, like at that point, I would probably just start over.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? If Aramora dies, I have a druid named Tony that turns into a saber-toothed tiger. That would be funny.
That's
And you know what? I
coming
take
in.
it back. That would be. I don't think I would put him in this campaign, but
From Aramora.
yeah, for the other one, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a D&D character race you relate the most to?
That's a good one. Pallid elves, because they're pale as fuck. And they basically never saw the light for a really long time, and that's basically me.
Companion on either show that you would call the biggest tool.
A tool. Like in a bad way?
That's what it seems like.
I'm trying to think. I don't really have a story. I'm trying to think. No, that doesn't even. It was more like he appeared like a tool, but he wasn't. Honestly, I've just had really good groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Been fortunate.
Last question is, what platform do you prefer playing D&D on? I guess that means like Roll20 or.
I'm the most familiar with Roll20, but
Okay.
I think there's a lot more functionality for what we like to do on Beyond.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's going to end it for our viewer questions. I have one last question for you. What message or impact do you hope to leave in the geek space?
Oh man. Don't take everything too seriously. Be a team player. But after that, just have fun with it.
All right. Well, I think that's going to end it for our investigation check, and I think it's safe to say we rolled a natural 20. Thank you so much, Reimer, for joining us tonight and allowing us to dive in tonight. I've got 2 tonights in that sentence, I just noticed. That being said, anything you'd like to plug? Where can we catch you next?
Yes, I will. Well, tomorrow I'll be here for Queer and Present Danger. And then it's the offset Thursday to your guys' show that my show is on. And then apart from that, you can kind of find me intermittently everywhere. Okay. So I guess just give me a follow if you want to see my content, because I kind of just go live, and if you want to see that, you probably just want to get the notification that I went live.
And it's at Rimarabbit on Instagram. What's your Instagram handles?
I believe Instagram is Kawiwi Rima. It's the only one I can't change.
Okay.
But like TikTok is Rimarabbit, Twitter is at Rimarabbit_TTV.
Okay. Anything you got going on? Any future collaborations you're doing with anyone?
I have an existing collaboration with Gamer Sups. They make the Booby Waifu Cups and the energy drink powder. I'm narcoleptic, so yeah, and I'm a streamer, so like I got a partnership with them. That's like my biggest collaboration. They have some goth stuff coming up, and one day I might even get my own titty waifu cup. We'll see.
Do you have a discount code for them?
I do. It's code Rabbit.
Code Rabbit. All right.
You get 10% off.
All right, and all those links can be found on your Twitch, correct?
Yes.
All right. So, I think that's it. That's all I got for you. You got anything for me, Rima?
I think we covered all of it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. You can catch us tomorrow for Queer and Present Danger, next Monday for another episode of Forging Fates, and I believe, yes, next Tuesday, we have Spell Shots with Jeremy. We'll be back with another adventure for them. You can catch all of our episodes, including this one, a week from today on our YouTube channel, new_age_geeks. All the links are down below. That's all I got for you. Thank you so much, Rima, once more, and good night, everyone. Love you, geeks.
Good night.